Round six is done and dusted, and boy, I wish it never happened.
Me too. Come on!
Hello and welcome back to Off the Mark, an AFL Fantasy podcast. I am Mason.
And I'm Casey, and here we are at the end of round six. And yeah, it was a bit of a all-round kind of week. It had its ups, certainly had its downs, and all in all, it was hard to pick. How do you think you went?
Oh, well, look, it's just another weird week in a year of weird weeks, really, of injuries, of shit scores, of people coming out of nowhere and surprising us, of popular trading targets doing badly. Like, it was just very all over the place. But no, I went not great. I scored a 1952, so didn't crack the 2K. I slid, what's that, 8K ranks down to 27K. So I'm looking for an opportunity to build up now from here. And like, look, my
Yeah,
team value is even sitting at 22.39. Like, there's not a whole lot going right for my team. But if we take our categories through my team, so who was a pass? Look, there wasn't much. I'm happy to give Sinclair a pass with a 117 after disappointing me as a captain last week. Um, so he was good. Um, Blamires can absolutely take a pass with a 72 there for me on field. Was fantastic. There's not much else. Cook and Marshall in the forward line definitely came through and clutched up when I was pretty thin in there. So they were good. Who excelled? Well, I'm going to give it to Nick Newman, who was my trade-in, one of my trade-ins for a 101. So he was fantastic. Um, Butters 125 was also great. She's a 136. We all knew he was going to do that, but that was fantastic as well. But that was really all that kind of went well for me. I mean, I guess a Dan Houston 110 is nice too. But there are a lot of stinkers. A lot of stinkers. So Steele
oh
87,
yeah,
LDU 92 against Richmond, just couldn't get it done. Um, Gorn going 93, couldn't get it done. Pickett 80. Connor McDonald, my other trading target, 66. But somehow he saved himself from being the stinker pick because Andy Brayshaw, 64
oh,
against
oh yeah,
West Coast. I've had this guy since the start of the year. Oh, he's averaging 88 and I bought him at over a million. 88. That's horrid. It's really horrid.
yeah.
So
Oh, I
he's
hate that.
stinky. A bit of value. There's not really much. I mean, I guess from my rookies, Murdoch coming back was nice with his 86, gets me a bit of value. We'll talk Zach Ostelski and the whole loop situation a bit later, but I guess he gets a little price rise in there. But yeah, there's not much going on. Maybe those forward rookies as well. And then just to keep my eye on, there's really no one. I'm keeping my eye on whoever the hell I can trade in that's going to save this shit. Really. So I'm looking for ceiling
Yeah.
scores this week in my trades. And yeah, I guess so. How did your team go?
Fair enough. I did a little bit better. I was scored a 2099, but once again, could have been so much higher. I was looking to hit the 2100 mark for the first time this year. I think I was set up looking really good. And then Andy Brayshaw came out and stunk it up for me at the end.
Yeah.
But 1 point shy of a 2100, that's still pretty good. It made me rise 5k ranks, now at 15k overall, or 4k,
Nice.
4k ranks to 15k overall. So relatively happy with that. But considering I was in the 9k only a couple of weeks ago, it's still a bit sour. Blokes who got a pass on my team, I think I'm going to say Josh Dacos got a pass with a 97. It was a ton, and then he gave away that free kick right at the end, which we spoke about on Friday's episode. Another pass for me that I want to just give a shout out to is Tanner Bruin. I know people were expecting a little bit more, but his break even was very low, and he got a 77, which is now his break even is still 44. He's at 80. People will be looking to move him on. I think there's still a lot of value in that. So don't be shocked by he's only scored a 77. The bloke wasn't hitting 120s every round, so I'm saying that was a good shot. And another pass, Lockie McAndrew. It was bound to happen eventually. Played St Kilda, which had TDK and Romar, and the 65. That's a pass, That's a tough combo. Your first year ruck, everybody has him. It's a pass. I'll let you have that one. Some guys that excelled for my team, which were awesome, was Harry Sheasel, as you said as well. But Brody Grundy for me, 130 back to back over Gorn. So 2 weeks in a row, he's outscored him by 20 now. So awesome pick. Really happy with that. Bailey Smith was my captain with a 145. That was awesome. Butters, as you had as well. Houston was all right with a 110 compared to what he's been doing. But the most outstanding one for me that finally paid dividends to why I picked him at the start of the year was Ed Richards, had a 133. That's the score he got in opening round. That's literally the reason why I picked him. That is as a saving grace to what otherwise actually might have been a pretty bad round for me, and what might have made me drop. If I had gone even not a Bontempelli, if I'd just gone a normal bloke who hit a ton, that'd go, I'm hitting in like the 20-50 range, and I'm probably not going anywhere near as high as I did. So for him to do that was outstanding. Blokes that stank. Andy Brayshaw, as you said, same rant. We've had him from the start. I won't get on about that one. I want to give a stint.
Seems every week we talk about Brayshaw, doesn't it?
It is, and when do we get him out? Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Field or Yield was the stinker for me this week. I did it pretty badly. I had Oscar Steen on the ruck bench, but that was always going to happen. He had a 72, outscored McAndrew. I had Milan Murdoch with an 86 on my bench. Jagger outscored Farrow as well. And then I had Sam Grill outscore Lockie Jacks. Even Caleb Windsor outscored Lockie Jacks by 2 points. So I've left quite a few points up for grabs on my bench, which was a bit upsetting. But yeah, it's just Andy Brayshaw hitting that low score. I suppose Josh Dacos not getting another ton was tough. But yeah, other than that, most people have Jack Steele, so I'm not too upset with that one. But yeah, other than that, it was just my field or yield. Sorry, my trade-in for the week was Rochelle. He was 1K cheaper than Connor McDonald when you brought him in, and scored 1 point more. So I'm the winner in that trade, if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, that was pretty shit. A 67 for a bloke I'm paying a lot of money, and everybody's had him. So for everybody, it's like, oh yeah, that's fine. We've had him for our 120s, our 110s. But nah, me and it seems like quite a lot of people traded him in this week. So that was pretty devastating. Oh, and Graham Myers going out, he was a stinker for me, made me have Lombard on the field with a 31. And ACL apparently he's gone. I think. I'm not sure if we've got that
he's
confirmed or not, but I'm pretty sure.
I haven't heard anything, but he's out for me this week. Even if we don't hear confirmation, I can't hold a guy like that for 2 weeks. And he's the second most expensive forward, or third behind Sheasel as well, I guess, and Nick Martin's the other one up there who's not playing. So it's just, you got to use that cash when you can, especially a team like mine. I've got to get some points on the board, really, which is where I'm heading this week. Yeah, let's get into some games, hey? So we went through Carlton, Collingwood on Friday, so we won't do that again. If you want to check that out, you can go listen to our last episode. Friday night, they bought 2 games, first of which was Geelong versus the Bulldogs. I'll take the Cats. So, who was a pass? Probably Max Holmes, I guess. Didn't play too many CBAs again. Played a bit off halfback. Did have some CBAs, but he scored a 96. Yes, he's averaging 110 for the year, but I still think 96 is a solid score for a midfield premier. This is kind of his, not floor, but his kind of lower echelon of scoring. I think that's probably fine. And I guess I'll give Bruin a pass, as you said before, a 77 for a mid-pricer, and it's pretty much exactly what he's priced at, is fine. So I don't mind that. Obviously, Bailey Smith excelled a 145. He's just hurts everyone who doesn't have him, which is me. And it's just impossible to get him in at the moment because you can't justify paying that. Because if there's even this littlest, tiny chance that he starts to just kind of average exactly 100, by the time I trade him in at 1.3, he's almost at now, I think. It's a fail. Season done. And I'll give a shout out as well to Jeremy Cameron, who kicked 10 goals. He probably excelled quite a fair bit. So he was pretty good.
Impressive.
No one really stunk in this game, except for Tom Stewart. He's kind of stunk it up the last few weeks. So he started the season 75 and opening round. They went 107, 109, 93. Now he's had a 46 and a 63. So he could get a bit cheap for us, although he does do this, and it's probably why we didn't pick him. So I think we're probably just putting a line through him to not pick him. Is probably where I'd be
Yeah.
going with that. For a bit of value, Mitch Edwards was not bad with a 68, his highest score for the year. So if you did go there in the second ruck position, he's now up to about 400k now, which is not terrible. He started at 230, so he's been all right. So a bit of 68 for value there is good. And then just one to keep an eye on. There's probably no one, to be honest. Maybe Lockie Humphreys, because I think Geelong don't have a terrible run for defenders coming up. Oh yeah, it's kind of orange, so maybe you could start looking at him. He had a 107 after a 75 and a 98 in his last two. So if he can look to put that consistency there and take his 50s and 60s out, then maybe you could keep an eye on him. And obviously maybe Tom Stewart as well. We'll see how cheap he can get, and we can keep an eye on him. But that's it for the Cats.
Yeah.
Over to you with the Dogs.
Nice one. Over the Dogs. Just quickly on the Cats as well. I just want to pay detriment to my boy Lawson Humphreys, which for the second year in a row you continue to call him Lockie Humphreys. So I love that one. If he ever listens, we love you, Lawson. Anyway, for the Dogs, who I don't know why. So I'm sorry, I'm just throwing you under the bus, but that's my bad. Who's a pass for the Dogs? Bailey, Matthew Kennedy, 99. He's pretty much averaged a ton for the season. He got bang on that in a big loss, so well done to him. XL, that's actually kind of the only one that passed, really. Yeah, XL was obviously Ed Richards, who I talked about before. I want to say Bailey Dale's an XL, but he's been that shit, so this is kind of just like there you go, you can play footy, there you go, kind of thing, so I won't give him that one. Bloke who stunk it up, obviously. How often do you find Marcus Bontempelli at the bottom of the fantasy scoring? So he's third from bottom from Darcy, who had 28% time on ground, and James O'Donnell, who was nowhere to be found, and Bont's the third bottom with 86 game time. Like, we talked about who's the tag going to go to. It went to Bont, and O'Sheen shut him down. Bont is no longer untaggable. He was very clearly taggable. And even word that he might have been harbouring an injury, or he might have received one during that game. So that's tough for Bont. Lockie Jacks, it's kind of in between stunk and pass. You can't really give a 46 a stink to a rookie but what he's priced at, and that just properly slows down his cash gen, pretty much puts it to a halt now. His break even goes up to, what is it now? It's a 47 break even. So could still hit it, but cash gen slows right down. So that for him, his time is pretty much up now. I think it's fair to say maybe 1 or 2 more weeks if he goes all right next week. That's kind of it. Libber played 37% time on ground, getting a concussion, has scored a 59. So 37% time on ground, point per minute, 60 points in 37%. That's pretty good. A watch for when he comes back, because he could be good for us. I know I had him last year, and he did me really well last year. So that's kind of. And if anyone had Selwood, I should bring up. He was pretty good as well, but we're not watching him anymore because that's kind of done. We had a watch on Freya the last couple of weeks, and Sanders as well. 79 from Sanders wasn't too bad in a loss. Freya 67, probably not as good, but on par for what this forwards kind of did this week. And I think that's it. That's all my watches, really.
So I guess there's a fair bit of kind of news out of this. Obviously, so Sam Darcy ACL is terrible. Rory Lobb tweaked his hamstring, but I think they've kind of said that he'll be okay-ish. Might miss one, but should be fine. Liver's obviously out with concussion as well. So probably throws a bit of a spanner in the works, especially with Bont being tagged out of this and possibly also being injured out for a week, into their CBAs. Yeah. So, do we see Sanders keep doing it? He probably was a trade a couple of weeks ago than now. Do we see Adam Treloar, who I know had a good game in the VFL, come back in? That's another thing.
41.
And as for Libber, keeping our eye... Jesus. As for Libber, keeping our eye on him, 1.003 million he's at. So when he comes out from concussion, he'll be priced there. So, yeah, could be a bit of value there if he can score well, I guess. On to the other Friday night game, though. And we saw the, the Battle of the Bridges? Is that what the Sydney one's called?
Yeah.
Sydney versus Giants.
Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah. Battle of the Bridge, that's right. I'll take this one.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, take this one.
This delay's not good.
No, it's not great, is it?
Me? Yeah. Okay, so I'll just start. I'll just do it. A pass for the Swans. Sorry about that one. A pass for the Swans was McInerney. Sorry, in a week where the forwards were kind of flopping, he probably was the one this week. Whether or not that'll stay true, but a 96 with 2 goals, that's pretty good. And Chad Warner as well. You were saying he loves to pop out a 60, but hitting that 89, almost a 90 was pretty solid from him. Love to see that. And Isaac Heaney, 104. Nothing on what is 140s, back-to-back 140s were the last couple of weeks. But for anyone who brought him in, rewards you with a ton, and you're happy with that. As far as Excel goes, Brody Grundy again, 130 for the second time in a row, 130s 3 weeks in a row. Outstanding from him. You love to see that. It's pretty much the only one that excelled. Yeah, I'm going to say value for the Swans probably isn't there. We were all talking about Sheldrick a few years ago. He scored a 79, but he's priced up quite highly now. He's got kicked a goal on that as well, so won't be doing that often. What are we else? Watch list maybe? I mean, we've got Sarong did it right. Jai Sarong with a 59, 60. Lower disposal game for him, only the 13. He's been averaging 16.5, so lower disposals for him. So impressive that he still got that 59 in a game where he wasn't quite getting much of the ball. With the 3 tackles helps that as well, and 5 marks. So doing it right, and he's later on the list for the rookies that we're getting rid of rather than sooner. So you can happy to hold that one. And war watch list, we're not really watching anyone. I mean, you're big on Chad Warner, so I suppose that's kind of a tick if you're looking at where he's priced at. He kind of hit where he's priced at, maybe a little bit over. I don't think he can go too much over as that. I don't think he's going to be a 100 guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I also don't think he's going to be going at 70. So take it, see how you like it. I find I'm not as confident in that pick. But then again, I brought in Rochelle and you brought in Connor McDonald, so you never really know what the confidence is like for the forwards. Yeah. Over to you.
Well, just a quick one to watch for Sydney as well. I want to shout out Nick Blake. He scored 120 here, an average 81 for the season, his highest score of 90. He's now got a break-even of 63, and the Swans come into not a terrible run. So they play the Bulldogs, who are green, Melbourne, who are yellow, North, who are red, Collingwood, who are bright green, like the brightest of greens, and then they go to Geelong, who are orange, second hardest team. So they've got the 2 hardest teams in there, but they've also got number 1 and 3 easiest, and then a yellow matchup in there. And well, Melbourne are almost light green, I guess. So maybe just a watch on him. If you were, for some reason, he was still on your draft table or something, or maybe if he pops another good score, we can have a look. But yeah, that's that for the Swans. For the Giants, so there's, as always, relevant names here. And Lockie Ash and Whitfield, we kind of probably talked them down a little bit, but I'll give both of them the pass. 114 and 101 they scored. So this was a hard matchup for them. And now that this is out of their cycle for matchups, it doesn't get too much easier, but they pretty much go orange for the rest of the year still. So it's not quite the red that we talked about last week. So maybe you could be starting launching those if you really wanted some, highly priced guys. Excelled, I'm going to give it to Phoenix Gothard. So he scored a 99. Oh, yeah. He's been kind of the forward rookie we all missed. So he was very good there. And obviously he's too expensive now at $563K to pick up. But he made a lot of nice cash for his owners there. So that was good. Who stunk it up? Well, I'll say Callahan. 75 is not the worst score for a tag, but he got the Jordan tag. So we were wondering whether it would go to Ash Whitfield. I think we maybe flagged him. But yeah, he did get it. So 75 is not great for him. Although I have been looking at him a little bit this week for a midfield upgrade because the Giants have the easiest run for midfielders over the next 4 weeks, over the next 6 weeks, and the second easiest over the next 8 weeks. So he should come into some good scoring. In terms of tags, I don't know if there's really too much for him. I'll just quickly check. So North this week, I don't think O'Sullivan will be back, and if he does, I don't know if he goes straight back to tagging, but then he plays the Suns, Essendon, Eagles, Brisbane, Melbourne, so I don't think any of them would really tag him, and most of the teams would probably go to Ash and Whitfield anyways, so no concern there, I don't think for him. A bit of value, I mean, if you had Gothard, that is nice there. There's not really anyone else, to be honest. Hannaford, who's a mid-forward, 305k. He scored a 43 if anyone was looking there. I think we mentioned him last week as a minus break-even guy. So it's not the worst. I guess you were probably playing him off your bench, or maybe you had to play him this week. And for those who did, I don't know if anyone actually did it, but Nick Madden as a ruck was a bit of value. He scored a 67.
Would you consider Clary at 927 a bit of value. Talk about that green runner they've got. He's priced 80k under a million. It's safe from the tag, and he's gone back-to-back tons now. I think even 3 in a row. No, sorry, he's
So
104, 89, 113.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So, but put a couple good games together with that 96 before then as well. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, you could do it, definitely. And you know what you say about tags. If Callahan's going to be safe because Ash and Whitfield are going to be tagged over him, then Oliver's fourth in line for a tag. So I doubt it'll ever go to him. And he's actually not scored terribly this year. He's got 89, 79, 96, 104, 89, 113. Obviously, he's had the role. But maybe, look, it's just something he's had to build into at a new club, and he's finally going to have a good stretch to kind of go bang. And yeah, look, I don't mind it. Doesn't fit my structure at the moment. I really wish it did. I need a big hitter. I need a ceiling scorer. But yeah, if you were looking to go there as a bit of a unique, I reckon you could definitely do that. So maybe he's one to keep your eye on, I guess, there, Clayton Oliver. On to Saturday, though, and this was a good day of footy. Starting off with Gold Coast and Essendon. Do you want to take Suns or Essendon? Who'd you rather?
I can take. Sorry about that. I can take Suns. Yep. Yeah. Finding a bit of a cold. Sorry. Yeah. So
no, me
I'm
too.
going to go start. Yeah. Pass. By all means, was a Christian Petrarca. This is what we needed in the game coming back. Scored 3 goals and 25 disposals, mate. That's more than a pass. That's outstanding. And we can all genuinely look to bring him back into our forward lineup, and there's no reason not to. Then another bloke you can give a pass to is probably a Matt Rao and a Took Miller, both scoring close to 100, averaging 100 between them, 103 and 98 respectively. Just good, solid scores. Rao, we're expecting a little bit more. Took was actually a little bit over what he's been scoring this year, so very happy to see that from those two. Excelled no one really. As I kind of just said, it was those two. Bodie Ewan scored another 85. The bloke's elite. And might have been all right. Someone that stunk up a little bit was John Noble. For anyone that has him in draft or anyone who's looking at somebody like that, scored 66 with 25 disposals, so not quite what we're looking for.
He's in my draft team, which sucks.
Yeah, tough. And Leo Lombard with a 31 can definitely probably the number one rookie we're looking to move forward, which just makes a forward line that's already depleted even worse. Should have gone Gothard.
Yeah,
that would have been much better. Watch list. Pardon me, watch list is kind of just not really anyone I'm uber confident with in the Suns. I mean, we talk about Rowell and Miller hitting a ton and that being okay. Anderson to come back, he was shocking as well this year, but Petrarca's probably the one. Might be crazy to say, might even place him above a Cozzy in my rankings. From recollection, though, I probably wouldn't because Cozzy's priced at 986. And Petrarca at 969 with a break-even of 107, so could still go down a little bit. So if you wanted to go somewhere, it's really up to you. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess there's not much to watch in this game from a getting him in our sides point, but I wanted to shout out Jared Witt's 96 against the hard Essendon matchup. So their rucks have obviously swapped now. Blackiston's almost taking no ruck time, or at least no CBAs. And that's all going to Peter Wright, so he seems to be their main ruck at the moment. Of course, we're still waiting on Nick Bryant to come back as well. So I guess that maybe that is a good thing fixture-wise. So obviously that's counted on the fixture difficulty table this week, and they're now up to a 34 orange after being a 22 red last week. So maybe they are getting easier. So that will affect, not Carlton. Who did the Bombers play? Collingwood this week. And then Brisbane, Giants, and Freo that will come up against. So that'll be interesting for the Bombers and who they play. Maybe a Luke Jackson in that Freo one, I guess, is the only relevant one there. But over to the Bombers. And in terms of their scorers, I mean, look, they're playing good footy at the moment. So I think for now, I'm happy to just kind of put the let's avoid the players and the shit teams behind us. I'm happy to just kind of let that go. Because Zach Merritt at the top there is probably, maybe I'll start with who excelled, 151. So he went huge here.
Oh, yeah.
Just looked like the Zach Merritt of old. 34 touches, 9 marks, 8 tackles, and a goal. It's just like the ultimate stat line. So he was fantastic. And you're giving Oh, you're probably giving Roberts a bit of an excel as well. 117. I know he's coming off a 160, but 117 is still an elite score if you had him or traded him in. So that was good. And well, Roberts, especially as a defender, now comes into the Collingwood matchup, which is the by far and away easiest. So that'll be good for owners of him, and I think you can still trade him in this week. In terms of a pass, gee, if you were an owner of Jai Caldwell over the last few weeks, it would have been rough, but he's absolutely past it now. 109 he had, and Darcy Parish as well has been a tough watch for owners. And if you somehow held him over the constant whinge of the entire fantasy community, then congratulations, you've been rewarded with a couple of tons in a row now. And
Yeah.
again, they all come up against Collingwood this week, who are actually really easy to score against, mainly for defenders, but for most people at the moment. So all four of those kind of excelled, but also passed, I guess. Um, Probably he didn't stink, but Jacob Farrow 58 is a little bit disappointing after 2 tons in a row. He'll bounce back this week against Collingwood, the super easy matchup, but maybe a little bit disappointing. I know he's a rookie, but we expected better from him, and some people even traded him in at over 500k this week. You'd be hurting if you did that, but he'll still make you good money. Break even still at 13, so he'll be fine. Um, a bit of value. There's not really much. Sullivan Roby kind of popped his first good score in there with a 64 after a 36 in his debut last week. So maybe we could be looking there. He is a forward rookie. He's a bit more expensive, up near that 340k mark, I think. Yeah, 343k. But I think you could be looking there. He didn't. I don't know if he got CBAs, but when I watched him in the Melbourne game, I sat right behind the goals, and he pretty much sat in the goal square the entire game. So this game, yeah, didn't get any CBAs, which was disappointing. But yeah, I guess maybe have more of a role working up the ground. I really didn't see too much of him when watching this one. So I'll just check his disposal map quickly. Yeah, it kind of looked like he played off a half forward more. So people who watch the game will know more than me. But yeah, that's probably what I'd take away from that. And someone to keep my eye on. There's not really anyone here, to be honest. I'll just say if you still have Blackiston, he needs to go 39. So you really, really got to get
Tough.
him off. But yeah, we're probably watching Roby as a value option there as for a trade in, I guess. All right, let's move to
Like it.
Saturday afternoon. I'll let you take your boys, and I'll take the Hawks, who are maybe more relevant than ever. There's a couple on our list here. So for a pass mark, there's not really anyone. Maybe we'll give it to John Newcomb, who can definitely pop a bad score, but he scored a 99. So for draft owners, they would have been pleased with that. No one excelled, although Jarman Impey's now put together a few good scores to second ton for the year, and his last two scores of 96 and 87. Interestingly, for halfbacks and defenders, Hawthorn have the easiest run over the next 4 weeks, the second easiest over the next 6 weeks, and then the first easiest over the next 8 weeks. So look, maybe I'll chuck a keep an eye on him on Impey as well. Maybe we could have a look at him, priced at 852k. Who stunk though, and that was Connor McDonald. Fuck this guy, man. 66. Are we kidding? The 1 week I trade him in, I had him in my side all preseason. The one that he gets 79 in the opening round, and I think, oh, how high and mighty? 79 on the forward line? Nah, I can't go there. So I don't pick him. Then he goes 84, 89, 106, 96. I think, you know what? Not the best role, but I'll get this guy on my side. He seems like a consistent scorer. That's all I need in the forward line. And I don't want Rochelle because I have too much pride. And it's the pride that kills you. Because 66, although I guess Rochelle didn't end up scoring that well anyways. But yeah, not great
Correct.
from him. Hopefully he can bounce back. And Dylan Moore as well, 65 if you were going there as a forward option too. Pretty much scored the exact same. Is now suspended for a week. So maybe the stink goes to him and Sicily for gut punching. Because that was really stupid. To be honest, almost lost them
Yeah.
the game. And yeah, bit of value. McCabe came in as the 230k rookie, made 9k, break even at 14 now. He scored a 35. I don't know if he stays in the side, but he's a defender rookie. If you were looking there, I don't think we're looking at him. And yeah, one to keep your eye on. It's probably Impey. I think he's the main one out of this that, since opening round, he's only had one score under 85. So look, with this good run to come, maybe he's someone you could launch into as a bit of a unique mid-price kind of option.
Solid. All right, over to me. I'm going to skip the pass because everyone who scored well was all on exceed. So I'll start at the bottom of those, which is Todd Marshall with a 78. Excelled for what we've been hoping for a forward line, 78 and a forward line. That's awesome as a rookie scorer, if you will. Priced at 400k or 300 something k at the start of the year. That's awesome to see from him. Another bloke who finally excelled his score average this year was Miles Bergman with an 85. We're not looking at him ever, so just throw his name in there because people were looking at him at the start. A bloke who excelled again twice in a row, showing you can do it, is Zach Butters, 125, which was really good. I saw an interesting stat that when the weeks before he scored his 116, so when they played the Tigers and he dropped like an 80 something or whatever it was, there was something like 3,000 coaches traded him out. He was sixth traded out for that round, and then's gone 116, 125 to back up all those people who were trading him out. So that's why you don't trade the premiums. I'm hoping Brayshaw does that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So after the Richmond game, so he was 66.18% owned, and then after he went down to 64.13%. And then even after the 118 against St Kilda, he went down to 63.79%. And look, I guess there's some merit to... There's been people, I don't agree with this at all, but there's been talks of people wanting to trade him out because, of course, he's got the Mullen tag, the worst tagger in the game at the moment, who just kept Bont, of all people, to a 28 and kept Butters to, a 30 and a 40 in their 2 games last year.
It's not looking good, mate. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, another bloke that excelled was my boy Jason Horne-Francis. My fantasy team's named after him. Absolutely adore the guy. And he had 126. Now, scored a 50 in round 1 against the Kangas, but since then has averaged 104 for the season and is priced at 900. I think that's a bit of value. Hasn't gone under 80. He's gone 128, 87, 81, 97, now a 126. Underpriced? He's priced at 906, break even of 64. I reckon he can go at 95 for the rest of the season. What do you reckon? That's 10 points under what he's done for the last 6 rounds.
Are we waiting for something to happen? Like, I feel like there's always a question mark over his head of he can just, like, round 1 drop a 50 or just go, like, 70 for 6 weeks or get injured. I guess we can put that 50 in round 1 down to managing him back from injury. But, yeah, this is probably his first good score this year outside of the Essendon game, which maybe is a bit of an anomaly. I don't know. I was a fan of bringing him in last week. I didn't do it. And now I feel like seeing him sit there. I've experimented going places with a premium in my forward line, getting off Myers, and he has been one in the equation. But, yeah, I don't know. I think you can still do it. And my question for you, I guess, is do you think that there's a world where Mullen doesn't go to Butters and goes to Horne-Francis instead? Because watching this game, Horne-Francis was almost one of them. He was everywhere. And Butters was great too, but Horne-Francis was the influence.
Correct. I just don't think that if you take... So think about it like this. What would you prefer? Would you prefer to take out Horne-Francis and have Butters roam free? Or would you prefer to take out Butters and have Horne-Francis? It's a tough question. For me, if I'm looking at it, Butters can win you a game. Horne-Francis can change a quarter. And that's nothing on Horne-Francis. That's nothing on... that's more so speaking to the influence Butters can have. Now, even in this game, Horne-Francis, 28 disposals, Butters, 35. Now, you look at that as an accumulator and an impact player, and that's probably right. But I think from a football perspective, you just take the best player out first. You just go to Butters. He just goes to the top. He might go to Horne-Francis, but I think he's done it in the past and it's worked. He probably just sticks to Butters. For me, the thing with Horne-Francis this year is he looks a lot better than he has the last couple of years. He's kind of been finding his feet, playing that mix of forward and midfield time. Yeah. But he's playing some bulk midfield the last couple of years, last couple of weeks. He's probably found his spot. Yeah.
Yeah, they've found the position for him. I think the perfect kind of mid-forward split. So he had 60% CBA as his second most for the year against the Hawks, and he kicked 2 goals in that score, which I guess you said before. Butters with 35 touches and Horne-Francis was just the 28. The 2 goals is probably what gets him 1 point over the line on the Final Fantasy scores. But maybe Mullen just prefers to go to Butters, who had the 83% CBAs. I think probably is what I would say. Just because he's a midfielder, Horne-Francis can float forward even if he does start at the centre bounce. So I think that maybe they would want him to stick to Butters. But regardless, I think it's a hard tag. And what you said about Horn Francis influencing Kokorda, I think a lot of other taggers would probably then swap over once Horn Francis gets, kind of gets into it. But I think Mullen is my job today is Butters, and he does not set his
Yeah,
mind off that. And he's bloody well good at it. Like it's scary when one of your players is
correct.
against him. So yeah.
And I think just to finish it off, value, there's not really much value. Horn Francis was kind of my value talk. Everyone else we've talked about, Burn Jones, Farrell, they're all scoring 60s. Nothing big on there. But just one kind of watch for you is Logan Evans. Now, scored 26, but if there's a bloke on your team that is susceptible to rage bait and doesn't take chit chat very well, like we saw Sicily and Moore both get sucked in and both get suspended, I just keep a watch. So whoever Port's playing,
fair enough.
if there's someone sitting up in the forward line that is a little bit of a you've noticed the last couple of weeks gets a bit angry. Look out!
I tell you what, watch out, Bailey Smith owners, because that guy can chat. I reckon. I've got a feeling Baz can chat. So watch out, and then he's got the showdown. So watch out any crows. Rochelle is getting suspended that week. He's getting suspended. Isaac Rankin is getting suspended.
As well,
yeah. So valid concern, honestly, because it's
successful rage bait. Yeah.
What do they say? If I had $1 for every time Logan Evans got punched, I'd only have $2. But it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Yeah, and isn't that weird? I mean, he may not tag you the week you're playing him, but he's definitely tagging you the next week from the suspension.
Yeah, there you go. All right, on to the Crows and the Saints, and I'll let you take the Saints because I have a feeling you're going to want to say some words about a particular player. So on the Crows, who will I give a pass? I'll give Cook a pass and almost an excel for an 80. I've been this guy's biggest fan this year. I started with him. This is his third 80 for the year, but then his other scores of 48, 56, 57. So he really does hit the hot wing, cold wing. Look, he's a solid trooper there at F6 for me. So I'm giving him a pass with flying colours.
He looks really solid too.
He's a good player, great player. Wayne Miller excelled. This is really lucky for people who kind of held on to him over these shit scores because he's now in his last 3 weeks gone 98, 85, and now 117. And Saints are still easy for defenders because Josh Roll's just behind him on 114. Has sneakily had a bit of a good year, only one score below 85, which is interesting. There are a few stinkers in this one, though, and it's the two forwards, Rankin and Rochelle. Rankin still didn't get that CBA role. He still just kind of was a more of a forward. And Rochelle had 81% CBAs with Dawson out. So the fact that Rankin has 10% CBAs, his second least amount of CBAs in his 5 games this year, with Dawson out, really worries me about his role. I have no confidence in trading into him. And if you traded into him, I just think it's a bit unlucky. You're not looking out of it, but you're not having much confidence in there. And Rochelle just, I don't know, maybe getting the 80% CBAs is just not, maybe he just needs the 40 to 60. Maybe that's just his magic number. So 67 is...
He copped the Garcia as well.
Yeah, he did. Garcia kind of, I didn't really see him stick with like one person. He was definitely on Rochelle at times, but I wouldn't... Yeah.
Rankin and Rochelle kind of switched out, and Garcia just stuck to whoever was in the midfield at that time. And midfield is where Rochelle scores most of his points, so that's kind of where you saw the downfall. Rankin, I'm not too sure about. He seems to score his kind of playing outside mid, moving up into the forward line. So interesting for him, but yeah, Rochelle definitely would have copped that point scoring wise.
Yeah, and the other stinker is McAndrew here. I mean, I guess it's not that much of a stinker. It's a 65 from a rookie, but we've kind of grown to know him as a bit of a kind of mid-pricer, undervalued premium, I guess. So I guess maybe there's a bit of talk off of now, not now, but is there a time where we do move off him? Because there was a lot of talk about do we just hold him here? Yeah, I mean, it's just how often do you get the chance to kind of have this guy who's made us so much cash, and at some point, I mean, he's probably going to get up to what 800k, and then we jump off him. Are you willing to go a bit earlier and just get a couple extra weeks of, if you're a Gorn owner, just get a couple extra weeks of Gorn and Grundy? Like, everyone's going to be there at some point. You just take a bit more cash and do that early. I don't know what it's worth, but if he keeps scoring 65s, Grundy's going to keep doing, what's that, 70 points over
3
you?
130s in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And a bit of value here, Charlie Edwards. So he did have some CBAs with Dawson out, 68%. We saw him in the preseason, kind of came from nowhere and then hasn't played a game yet. So 68% CBAs for his 60 was very good. He's a defender mid, now at 258k. So I don't know about his role in the side. I would say if he gets named in the team with Dawson, who I haven't heard anything, but I assume will be back this week, I think. If we see him named with Dawson, then possibly maybe the role is there, the job security is there, but yeah, probably an interesting one there. And then one to watch, it's probably him, to be honest. There's not too much else, although, yeah, like I said before, Josh Royal's putting together a sneaky good season. If he's still in a draft table, maybe pick him. And, actually, I want to give a shout out because I was hot on this guy in the preseason. Sam Berry. I didn't have the guts to go there, but 89, 108, 86, 74, 93, and now 80. He's putting together a sneakily good season. He was priced at like 600k and now he's at 812. I kind of wish I'd done it now as a bit of a unique. But shout out Sam Berry. Just know I was there for you from day one.
Yeah, no, I was with you. Bring it up a couple of times as well, but good to see from them. Over to the Saints, starting with the pass. Give it to straight away, going from bottom up. Jack Carroll for me on my extended bench, 54. That's just a pass, just doing all right, ticking along, not slowing the cash end. I mean, it's slowing, but it's not
a bad hold,
not a forced trade. So I'm very, very happy with that. You're correct. And after a big score last week was good. And they look for him, which is good. When they're swinging the rock, so from doing the switch, I like that a lot. Another pass, go up to the top. Wangani Miller, you might think it's a little bit unders, 93. It's close to a pass, but I don't want to give it a stink because it's still a 90. So it's kind of there. Flanders, a bit more than a pass. It's an Excel. Sinclair, between a pass and Excel for him. I mean, after last week, you call it an Excel, but for him for the season, that's kind of on par. And then for Excel, Rowan Marshall, 104. If TDK goes out, and he's priced at like 700 and something in our forward lines, if TDK's out for an extended period, Romar was I think second or third most averaging ruck for the last year, behind Gawn, maybe Grundy and English. He might have been fourth. But anyway, he's still up there, and we know what he's done in the past. He's an incredible player, and when he's got solo ruck time, he is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he had 25 disposals as a ruckman. That's unreal. So good to see for him, and keep an eye out on the TDK news. Another XL, which I finally look, man. Cal Wilkie is the fourth highest expensive defender now and has gone 130 for the second week in a row. I wish I had the balls to just pull this when he was on 900k. Like, this would have been
under 100.
He's gone once. I know, once, and that was against the Lions. Yeah, another stat. He hasn't sat on the bench at all. He's played 100% time on ground in every single game. That is next level. He's the only bloke that's done it in the league so far. Yeah, he's next level. 12 marks. When they swing it, he's the bloke in the middle. So when it swings one side, they get it. When it swings the other side, he gets it both times. Like, he's an outstanding... And, man, he takes intercept marks like no other. Like, I don't know if anyone's watching this closely, but he shut down Tex Walker. The only time Tex didn't win a one-on-one, he didn't lose as many, but Cal Wilkie outmarked him a few times. When Tex scored his goals was in group settings and pack marks kind of thing. It wasn't a one-on-one scenario. So, outstanding defender, outstanding player. But once again, he's the fourth highest. You're going Sinclair over him. You know what? I'm not going Lockie Whitfield over him, and I'm probably not even going Lockie Ash over him. I know they've got their orange run, but fuck, man. Cal Wilkie's literally gone back-to-back 130s and hasn't put a foot wrong this entire year. And he's
St Kilda over the next 4 have a yellow run at 56. Then over the next
Yellow's better than
6,
orange.
They've got yellow at a 57, and then in the next 8, they've got a light orange at 56. And for the rest of the year, they actually have the second worst season remaining fixture, so he does come up against some tough matchups. Doesn't play a green team after his bye, so maybe it's a pre-bye play, maybe. Who knows?
Signs bye, yeah. Yep.
But there you go. And just on the Rowan Marshall thing, because we should probably give this some more airtime. So TDK did a hit, and he was really, really sore on the bench. Played out the game, but hesitantly and at full forward, and just kind of sat pretty much. Well. Yeah, well, he played like 4 minutes like in total, not even game time in the fourth quarter. Came on at the 4 minute mark and then went off again at the 8 minute mark. So just, yeah, did not play much and spent a lot of extended time onto the ground. So the word is from, I don't think it's been officially reported yet, but from some people, is that he will be out this week. He won't play this week. He's pulled up really sore. Marshall plays West Coast this week. West Coast, the easiest matchup for Rucks at an 85. The next easiest matchup is Carlton at a 72. That is the easiest matchup of any position of any team in the competition by like double. How many weeks does Tom DeConning have to be out for you to trade in Rowan Marshall? First of all, are you trading in the forward line this week? Like, are you trading out Graham Lyons?
I am trading it, but I'm going to Cozzy.
See, I'm trading him out. I'm going to Roma.
Yeah. I can't really blame you for it either. The thing for me, I need to see TDK be out for. Look, let's put it this way: if he's out from just the 1 week out of soreness and he comes back, Rowan Marshall hasn't gone above a 60. Do you want a forced trade again, kind of thing? Like he's gone 28, 62, 56, 46 this ton. I am worried, even if it's a 2 week play, I worry about TDK coming back and Marshall just going straight back to the scoring that he's already done. It's a bit risky. He's literally dropped over 50k in cash every single round except for this one. Over 70k in cash every single round in this one. It just seems like he's got a break even of 70. He'll hit a ton next week easily, especially if he's solo rucking against Eagles. He'll hit a ton, no doubt in my mind. Then the week after that, comes up against the Blues. There may be no Pito, maybe Pito. I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway,
he should be back.
Plays, yeah. So, but point being, TDK
he goes green, yellow, green.
Yeah, TDK will want to play against the Blues. Am I wrong? He'll want to play that game. I just think.
But does he play in the ruck though?
I worry. TDK.
Is there a world in which, having Rowan Marshall in your side, would you just go, look, you've had a week off sore, just play it full forward. We're happy with you to even play 50-50 with Marshall. And that'll be that. I mean, to be fair to Marshall, they've played Collingwood, Melbourne, Giants, Brisbane, Port. Port are red, who else did I say? Collingwood, yellow, Brisbane, orange, Melbourne, yellow, Richmond are green. So he's only, I mean, I know he's not playing as a ruck mainly, but he's only really played one easy matchup for himself. Giants were the other one, and they're green as well, but they weren't meant to play them. So, look, coming into this run, I think I'm just at a point in especially my forward line where I'm just happy to, that gets me the Marshall Lombard loop off field and gives me Cook at F6, and I'm happy to do that. And 76 break even, he should go 120 this week, and he'll make bulk cash.
Correct.
I don't know. Maybe it's just Monday thinking. It does feel like a very Monday thinking, but yeah.
Can you afford another risk in the forward line? Is my question.
Is there a player that isn't a risk in the forward line? Unless I want to pay up for, I've already got Cozzy, but unless I want to play up for a Petrarca, but like I want to trade. So my trade outs this week are Windsor and Myers, and at the moment I'm going Romar and Archie Roberts. So I can get a premium on the other side of that from Windsor, turn Windsor into a premium. I could get Zach Merritt. I could get Finn Callahan, who was someone I was as good on. Max Holmes I could afford. So there's a lot of players that I could get. If that means that I go Roma, there's other value forward options, and we might get to one main one a bit later. Actually, let's go there now, I guess. Because we'll go to Sunday and we'll go to North v Richmond, and we'll talk straight to Excelled on North, and that is Cam Zerha, who played half back. Could he be another forward option that if you're not willing to go this Roma thing, was this a one-game thing? He scored a 113 playing off half-back.
I don't know. It's I'm not too familiar with Zerha's game, to be honest. You can't always just see him in there. It's like, when you start a motorbike, Zerha! Anyway, it's like it's kind of weird. I really don't know much about him other than that. I thought you'd like that one. But yeah, 113 off half back. But then again, we saw this with Luke Parker a couple of weeks ago as well. And now look at this. Luke Parker's, I'm still scrolling. Oh, I've scrolled past him. That's why I haven't found him yet. What did he score?
89.
89. Okay, that's pretty good. But
still
it's
did
the
play
same
half
thing.
back.
Like Parker had those couple drops. He had the 129, then had the 60 kind of thing. I think Zerha could be the same. Once again, it could not. But I feel like this is a play that I'd want to have another look at. Marshall, we know from the past that it will work. So if TDK is out, you'd feel more confident going into that. There's a bit more of a question mark on this. But hey, 113 off halfback, you can't deny it. That's going to be a role. If he has that role, that's going to be a consistent scoring thing you'd assume off halfback, especially for North.
Yeah. So the other thing is that North have the second hardest run for the next 4 to 8 weeks, really. Besides Adelaide, who is just red, red, red. North go orange, orange, orange. The only other teams that do that are Geelong and Giants, and North Melbourne's is darker orange. So not great for him. And the Kircher played half forward for the start of this game, and then I think around the second half moved to halfback, and then you also had Parker playing off halfback as well. I don't know where Caleb Daniel was playing, but he still scored an 87, so I'll just check the heat map, but I would assume that he probably wasn't playing off half forward to get that. So I mean that means they've got 4 guys back there that were doing it, and also Zerha had a 9-point last quarter. I didn't watch this game, so I don't know if he maybe moved back to the forward line. So yeah, Caleb Daniel was playing off halfback as well. That's 4 halfbacks they've got, plus Cheezel and LDU taking points in the midfield. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not confident enough to do it. I would much rather do Romar for a week or two than this, but he is 532k with a 23 break even. So if you were looking at it from the cash perspective, Zerha will make more cash, but is a way bigger risk. Actually, is he that much? I mean, he'll go back to he's averaging 57, and he'll go back to scoring his 40s. But Romar will go back to scoring his 60s, but you're paying 200k more for him. Yeah. And realistically, I mean, we know Rowan Marshall's going to have this role at least this week and maybe the week after. What if Zerha just does this for the rest of the year? I mean, the upside is clearly with Zerha because the likelihood that he kind of does this or plays in and about that role. I mean, I don't know. It's confusing. Either way, you're shopping in terrible areas, but yeah, I mean, that's the 2 options really there. Other names for North, though, if we go through them. So who passed? Not Colby after a pretty poor start. So 24 in the first quarter and then 6 after playing half forward, and then scored 36 from 24 to end on a 90 when he went back to half back. So a 90, we pass him absolutely. It's a scare that he can be moved to half forward that quickly and score that shit, but look, he finds a way to do it every game, I think. So a 90 is a pass for him. Harry Sheezel obviously excelled as he was always going to do against Richmond. 136 is his equal highest score of the year, so he was fantastic. And Zerha excelled too with the 113. And honestly, I'm happy to give props to Tom Myers as well with a 72. It's his 3rd highest score for the year. He actually hasn't gone below 55 and has only gone below 61. So he's had a pretty good season. I think he was a very good rookie pick for us, so that was good. I'm happy to give LDU a stink here. And I know he scored a 92, but he scored a 160 against these guys last year. That's a 70-point difference. I was just hoping I think it's just because I was so excited to have him as a unique in this great matchup that he's a proven scorer in recently. So, yeah, maybe I'm just being a little too mean with that, but he can get my stink.
Better than
and I guess, yeah, true. Zerha's probably the one to keep your eye on with that 113 there as well.
Yep. Tigers, look, it's kind of the same story every week in, week out. Grill was okay. 57, solid. Lawler was better than has been. 82.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
I'd be happy with that.
You'd be happy with that if you had him. And if you'd held him.
High score for
Jaden Short, 99. Solid. Kind of same. Fantasy favourite, podcast favourite, Jack Ross, 123 with 2 goals, 26 disposals. That's outstanding. Good on you, mate. I'll trade into that if it was around one. And that's it. That's kind of how we do. I mean, Pat Retschko, I think this was his debut, scored 65.
Yes,
pretty
so
good.
Was that? Yeah. You're going there if you need a rookie, really. If you can't afford Anderson, so I don't have Anderson. If I can't afford him, I mean, obviously I'm doing the Rowan Marshall play, but there is a world in which I save more cash into next week and go. Oh no, and go Myers and Windsor out to like premium and Retschko. Although I'd probably have the cash to go Anderson to do that anyways. But yeah, his job security looks really good. And Taranto, Rioli, and Banks all got injured in this game, so he's definitely there for the long
You
haul.
go
And
into
I guess that's.
yeah. You going to Charlie Edwards before Old
I'm
Mate,
going
are you?
Reshko before
Reshko?
Edwards. 100%
Okay.
because it's the
Yeah.
job security. I think that's just the number one thing we have to think of because either way they're going to be on your bench. I don't think they're going to be
True.
scoring on field. Maybe I mean Anderson is probably the only one that would be, but yeah, Rechko being -5 break even now, scored a 65, and to be honest, North are kind of a hard matchup all around the board, particularly for halfbacks and kind of maybe on the wing as well, or people. I assume he played on the wing. I didn't watch it, but yeah, I think he'd be the number one guy I'd be going to if I couldn't afford Anderson or I already had Anderson. And yeah, Taranto and that injury news
Yeah.
is one that we definitely need to watch. So he scored a 30, sat from half time, I think. So yeah, I know there was a bit of a thing in our group chat with some people who didn't get money back on their multis, but it does actually officially say here that he went to the bench in the third quarter at the 18-second mark. So he technically did play game time in the third quarter, unfortunately. But yeah, pretty much from halftime. Sat the game, scored a 30. He's got a 138 break even, and even then, he's 882k with a 138 break even. So he's going to get down to 800k. And for the year, he's gone 81 and 68 as his bad scores, but then in rounds 2, 3, and 5, gone 114, 114, and 90. So look, I don't know. I actually don't know what he did, or how long he's out for. But Richmond for mids, not bad. So over the next next 4, they've got a 68, which is a light green. Over the next 6, they've got 68, which turns into a dark green. And then over the next 8, they've got a 67, which is light green again. So for the next 4 to 8 weeks, Toronto comes back, he's an option. There's a few value options in the midfield that we're going to get. We're going to get Bont. We're going to get Hugh McCluggage, who scored pretty poorly, who we'll talk about next. We're going to get Matt Rowell, who's still priced under $1 million, who's scoring well. And we're going to get Taranto. It's looking good.
Correct. Good list.
All right, let's whiz through this last couple. The D's. What am I doing? Pass. There's not many. There's really not many. In fact, there's no one.
Yeah, real.
Genuinely, no one passed this. This was a disappointing. They won the game. No, even 63 for Sparrow. I'm not saying is a. Oh, maybe it's his lowest score for the year, except that 27 in round 1. So I'm not giving him a pass. Right. No one excelled in this game. Look, Harvey Langford was a fan favourite in the preseason. I'll give him props for a 99, but it was who stunk. Max Gawn. So here's the story. I had the VC on Sheasel, 136. He's gone fantastic. I was like, great. Fantastic. Then I see a notification pop through. Zach Kostelski has been taken over. Didn't play VFL. Has been taken over as the emergency. I go, oh shit. Surely he doesn't play there, right? That's just that's just a little alert. A little just make sure your eyes are on your phone for this game. Then Zach Kostelski comes in as a late in for Fort, and I go, well shit. I can't captain him to take Shears as vice captain because that was my loop going him and Gawn swapping them out as the captain. So, and I couldn't do Devrob to Pickett, or I couldn't do something in my forward line because you would have had something
Lombard emergency.
Because I had Lombard emergency, so that would have been my emergency squad. So I was looping him, and I don't know why I even did that. So anyway, I had to captain Max Gawn for a 93, and the worst part is I could have captained Zach Kostelski, and he didn't even play 50% time on ground. So my Shizu score would have counted. The only positive is that I originally had my captain when Shizu was VC sitting on Andy Brayshaw. So thank the Lord I didn't go there because that's like 60 points I miss out on. But yeah, Gawn stunk with a 93. Should have been better than that, especially with Fort out. I know Brisbane are a hard matchup, but still. Steele 87, not good enough. Pickett 80, not good enough. Windsor 48. I have never been happier to see the behind. Honestly. I hope the door hit him on the way out because he can get the fuck out of my team. He stinks. He is so bad. He had 12 touches after 7 touches last week. How do you play midfield and get 7 and 12 touches 2 weeks in a row?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
And Sparrow stunk too with a 63. Value, there's no one, really. I mean, Heath came in as a ruck. Barely played, had 8 hit-outs to Gawn's 23, even though he had a good role. Gawn seemed to be starting forward for a fair bit of this, and Heath in the centre bounces. So Heath had 26 centre bounces which is it's big for a rookie coming in. And there's no one to watch. I've got too many Ds in my team, and they stunk, and it showed in my team score. So, yeah, not trading any of these guys in, that's for sure. Anyway, over to Brisbane.
Oh, scary because I'm trading Cozzy in this week. I'm going to have to rethink that one. Will Ashcroft is a pass with 100. Lockie Neal is a pass with a 97. Kitty Coleman passed with an 80. That's pretty good.
Definitely, yeah.
It's kind of it. We don't really have any rookies other than Zizi, who was a flop for even playing in the first place. Someone who excelled, I think. Sorry, the excitement was for who I'm going to say stunk.
Yeah,
no one
I
really
know
excelled.
who you're going to say.
Someone who stunk was Jared Berry, man.
No, we can't be cheering on
really
injuries. We can't.
Oh. I don't care. I have no morals when it comes to this bloke. He can get fucked. I hope it hurt. Whatever it was, I hope it hurt. 27% time on ground, scored a 32. 11 disposals. That's pretty good points per minute. But yeah, I really feel bad for... No, I don't. So he stunk it up. Value, I suppose Will Ashcroft's not necessarily value, but he's still a solid player.
Yeah.
As far as like priced amongst the other midfielders, I'm still scrolling to find him. Once again, I've probably gone past him. What's he priced at? Oh, $9.79. So, look, he's more expensive than an Andy Brayshaw, rightfully so, but he's cheaper than a Jack Steele. So, if you want to look at it that way, Callahan's more expensive than him. Heaney, Merritt, Bont, all of those blokes. I like Ashcroft, but once again, susceptible to the tag and is probably the tag target now. Bloke that did stink it up it's tough you didn't bring him in. Lucky you didn't bring him in was a 66 from Hugh McCluggage.
Oh, man.
As he scored a goal,
scored the same as Connor McDonald, though, who was the other guy that I bought in instead of him. So,
1 point cheaper than Rochelle, though. But no, Hugh McCluggage, he will drop in price for sure. And if he's anything like he was a couple of years ago, or even last year, he's a really solid player and can be a really solid pick. Lost 68k and his break even is 124, so he's still gonna go down for sure. But yeah, last year, man, you look at these scores he's popping out: 133s, 152, 113, 141, 121. The bloke can do it, and we know he can do it.
Yeah.
And we just need to wait for him to get back to it, and then I think he will be the value pick that everyone it'll be close to a must-have. I reckon once he starts hitting his stride, he'll be that underpriced that I reckon we'll all just have to jump on him.
The thing with him is that he got 40% CBAs, and last year he would have averaged about 72, 73, I think. So that's the issue. We need to wait until that goes up. And the problem is that Will Ashcroft was really averaging like 50% CBAs last year. He seems to have taken an uptick and gone to that 70% kind of. And that's a problem now because he's taken McCluggage's role. I don't know if McCluggage gets it back. But,
No, Lockie Neal's played his 300th. He'll get injured soon anyway. It's all good. He'll be right back in there shortly. But also, Dunkley's been putting some pretty bad games together. Yeah. I don't think he's.
I think he's just been playing roles.
If Barry's been getting any CBAs at all, they go straight to McCluggage. I don't think he has, but anyway.
Yes. Yeah, he did in round 3 and round 1, had 23 and 38, but hasn't since then. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, the only other one was Cam Rayner, who had a season low CBAs, and Zach Bailey's had some. He didn't get any. Got 26%. But, much lower than his 48 and 45 he had earlier. All right. Should we head on to the late Sunday game? I'll let you take your
Let's do
West Coast boys.
Yeah. Eagles for a pass. None other than Willem Durdman once again just rocking it, and we'll say it every week. It's the one we missed.
We missed him.
And we're going to say that every single week. He's putting it together really well. Josh Lindsay with a 62, solid and consistent.
Nice.
So well done to him. I want to say Bo Allen, outstanding young man. Great job. 17 disposals, just 7 marks. You just love to see it. Even got a tackle in there. Excelled was Milan Murdoch because he exceeded expectations People were scared to put him on field coming back after injury. Turns out it was the right answer. He outscored any of the forward rookies. Any of the midfield rookies. Shame he didn't get his forward status, didn't play one more game, because that would have been awesome to have him on our forward
He will,
bench.
though. He will.
100%, yeah. So even holding him to it then, and can probably, once he gets that forward status, because I think that comes out in 3 or 4 more rounds. Anyway, once he gets that
11,
forward status, yeah. After he gets that forward status, you can probably just sit in your F6 and go all right, and you won't have to trade into another player. You can just be happy with that. You can do a little bit of trading with your DPP to get somebody else somewhere else that you want. But so he has been awesome, and you love to see it. Tom McCarthy exceeded as well with a 113. Wasn't all right, and turned out to be the pick between him and Bergman for sure. Did all right. Harley Reid 69, Tim Kelly 67, but both of them just kind of not it. Like, we were talking about how they both could be possible value. They both could put together pretty good seasons, but it turns out they're both kind of just there. And I know you had on your run, like, West Coast had the easiest run for midfielders, but I just don't think we can be trading into these blokes at all. Midfield half forwards, or whatever it was you were saying in the group chat.
Easiest halfback, yeah. So, well, maybe that's where McCarthy is starting to score, because he's not getting CBAs. So West Coast have tightened up their CBAs real nice. So it was Yo on 65%, Kelly on 78%, and Reid on 83%. I mean, last week they had Dev Rob in there, who's not in there anymore. Other names who have gotten over 40% at some point. Jack Graham has gotten over 40%. Dersman's gotten over 40% in the game, and McCarthy's gotten over 40% in one game. But he's only had 2 games where he's received a CBA and 4 games where he hasn't. So he seems to be playing off half back. Look, this run is real, and he's showing us here. It's not the worst idea.
I don't mind it, yeah. Oh, and sorry, just to finish off, someone who, I'd say someone who stunk it up was Bailey Williams, down forward, 44. Look,
I had thoughts of doing this.
Sean. Oh, so did I. I was 2K off of going him and Rochelle. If I had that cash, I would have pulled that trigger. And if McDonald was 1K cheaper, I would have pulled that. I'd gone McDonald and Rochelle. So kind of lucky in the end. I kind of missed that one, because that's really tough. You don't want to see it. I mean, he was playing up against Jewel Rucks. But yeah, it's tough to see. They play St Kilda, and hey, look, against Roma has been tough the last couple of years when he's solo ruck. I don't know what that's going to be like. We haven't seen it this week at all. But then goes up against a Nankless Tigers. What's the update on him? If he's coming back soon, I don't know. But then goes into Max Gorn as well. So as we said, it's going to be a 3 to 6 week play, but will it be cut short from lack of output from the points scoring? Possibly, but then again, that's kind of on par. If you think about Rochelle scoring a ton, McDonald scoring a 90, Cozzy scoring a ton, that's all 30 to 40 points plus what they've done. If you want to count this as a 80, you can, but probably not. So, it's tough.
Marshall had 48% CBAs and DeConning 52% CBAs. So they pretty much played 50-50, although I would say Marshall was the number 1 ruck by a slight margin. And McAndrew went 65 as lowest score of the year. So I would be worried as a Williams owner. Although in the next 4, their rucks is 57 light green. Over the next 6, it's 52 light green. And then the next 8, it goes 46 yellow. So it's not terrible. Some of those matchups aren't as hard as they probably have seemed in previous years, but yeah, I would not be excited as an owner of him. Anyway, over to Freo. A pass. Maybe he excelled, but Luke Jackson 103 is just solid. He probably should have done more in the West Coast matchup playing. He did. He was the number 1 ruck over Cox, had more CBAs, so they definitely had an effort to play him as ruck. And then when he didn't play ruck, he looked like he was playing forward, so didn't play that midfield time. So he had 70% CBAs, and Cox had 30% CBAs, which there you go. So there was not a single CBA where Jackson and Cox were in there together, I guess.
It felt like he saved it too. I don't know if he had the splits, but he had a really, I think he might have been from memory,
13 in the first
coming
quarter.
into the 3/4 time.
13, 38, 26, 26. So it was really that first quarter that probably hit him down. So yeah, he was solid, I guess. Look, Hayden Young came back and scored a 92. He did have CBAs, 48%. So he was the 4th midfielder behind Bolton, Brayshaw, Sarong. So he won't pick up forward status, but
Brayshaw.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, okay, I don't understand. I think it was Will Schofield on the broadcast was talking a lot about Oh, Brayshaw's found himself out of the midfield mix, blah blah blah. And I wasn't really watching it too closely, and I was like, "Fuck, he's made his way out of the mid." And then I looked at the CBAs after the game. He had 83%. Like that is a pure
He
midfielder's
sat
role.
he sat at the front of every contest. Like, I don't know if you spend too much time. Like, you have like a sweeper who plays at the back. You have probably one on the middle
Yeah.
end, usually one on the attacking side to defend the opposition sweeper. He sat there every single time, and Luke Jackson went behind or to the side every time. There was no intent to tap forward, so he was never going to get it off of his own ruckman's win. And when you're playing against West Coast, Jackson was going to win most of the hitouts anyway, especially Mason Cox, who's just like an extra couple 20 centimetres taller as well. So setting himself up for failure, whether he's done that in the past, I'm not sure, but I really noticed it this game watching, like, from a ruckman's. I used to play ruck from a ruckman's perspective. He was never looking to go forward at all, always to the side, always to the back to his own sweeper, which was Hayden Young was the sweeper for a lot of it. So he got a lot of disposals because
Yeah.
Jackson won most of the hitouts. So, I don't know, something to watch. Maybe if they play a tougher ruckman, then it will go to him more. And in that position, it's more for tackles. So you'll get the hit to the
Yeah.
opposition
Well,
sweeper, and then Brayshaw's the one to tackle him there. So none of that we were seeing at all.
well, that was
Pretty
how he
much,
built his
like,
score, really. 15 touches,
yeah,
1 mark, but 7 tackles. So that was what when I was watching
yeah,
him. So he 6 and 19 he had in the first half, and then 16 and 23. And I kind of started watching more closely in the second half. The only way his score was going up to tackles, it looks like, and like an
correct.
errant handball or free kick or something. So it was just, yeah, not the greatest game. Literally, probably my worst starting pick ever. So he
Yeah.
gets the stink of all stinks. He is a stinky boy.
I'd say that, but we did Sam Taylor
And
as well. So.
honestly, yeah, yeah, no, he's worse than Sam Taylor because Sam Taylor
Yeah, fair
wasn't
enough.
meant to be good. I traded Brayshaw as a premium over $1 million and I got 88. Sarong stunk too, 88 as well. And both of these guys did in a West Coast matchup, which even after they both did that, West Coast on the fixture difficulty table are still light green, even though they've gotten easier,
how
even though these guys did this. So it's just, yeah, they both stunk. If I didn't have so many problems,
Come
I'd
up
be
against
getting
the
out of any
Blues.
Freo player. Yeah, well, I say should be better, but you can't be better than West
You come up
Coast
against the
unless you're
Eagles,
Essendon.
lad, brother.
So there you go. Who excelled? Reed excelled. He was fantastic with a 106, so he really went bang. And look, if you're looking for a forward option, there are worse options than him. I don't blame you if you do want to go there. So he was good. A bit of value. There's not much really, I don't think. I guess Reed might be a little bit. I think he's the only one of those forwards that were kind of there from the start that is still under 800k. So he's 747. He's almost 100k under Rochelle now. And it's been pretty consistent. Hasn't scored below a 70 this year. And has a couple of 90s in there and a 106 here, obviously, as well. So he could be a good option there, I think. And maybe just to watch on the Freo defenders that could be back. So Jordan Clark after 93 last week, a 117. And Liam Ryan after a 121 Luke Ryan after a 121 last week had a 90. So just to watch on them. I'll just quickly check what their fixture looks like. Yeah, they go 60 in the next 4, 60 light green. Next 6, they go 60 light green. And the next 8, they go 56 yellow. So, yeah, maybe a watch on them. And yeah, that's about it, I think.
Solid.
There we go.
That's the week. That's what it was. Ups and downs all around. What do your trades
Yeah.
stand at the moment? We talked about both going Windsor and Myers out. Who are you bringing in? Keeping in mind, it's
Yeah,
Monday.
at the moment it's Archie Roberts and it's Rowan Marshall. But to be honest, there's a world in which I just go Myers because I have the ability to get someone in my utility swap for Myers. So at the moment it's Dev Rob sitting
okay.
there, so I can swap around and pretty much get anyone. I might go Myers to Anderson, and I might go Windsor up to like Bats. Like I could go to anyone, and I think my team is lacking captain options. So my
I almost
D1
like
is
that
Sinclair,
more, yeah.
M1 is Steele, obviously Gorn my R1 and Sheasel my F1, and then there's really no other. In terms of this week, I haven't properly researched my captains, but at the moment I've got the V sitting on Gorn
I
against
think I've got
Richmond
mine.
and the C on Roberts against Collingwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Sinclair
Well,
against West Coast should
I-
be good, Steele against Richmond should be good, but I just can't trust them.
Correct. I think as someone who has had Baz, I think it just pays benefit just to have. Like, he's been my captain 3 weeks in a row. I've had him for 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that solid. It's that good. I think I've nailed my captains once again. Grundy on the Thursday comes up against Englishless Western Bulldogs. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So go Grundy and then roll into Baz against a shit-ass Port Adelaide, who haven't been that bad the last couple of weeks. I'll give them credit for that. But I think
No,
just
and there's
having
still a hard
one of those
matchup,
big
to be
boys that you
fair.
can just... Yeah. Just
Port
having one
Adelaide,
of
the
those big
second
boys
hardest
who you can
matchup
just
for
roll
midfielders.
into. Is Baz a different breed, though? He really is.
Yeah, oh, he is, absolutely.
Like,
They can try and run something with him, but it won't work. I mean, Nasai had a 139 against them last week, so yeah, that's my trades. What are you doing?
yeah, for me, I could literally do the same as you. I think we've got the same trade outs and about the same cash as well, but I'm chasing two blokes that you already have. I'm going Myers to Cozzy, and then I go Windsor down to Newman. I wanted to see one more from Newman. Well, I didn't really have the choice to trade into him last week, but hit that 101, and now he only went up 14k. So that's what I knew that was going to happen. I knew he wasn't going to go up too much money. I was lucky enough to be able to catch him whilst he's still cheap. It's priced at 770, and I think that's just straight hit. Things I can do, I can easily go Newman and Petrarca, or I can go down somewhere. I can go to a Rowan Marshall and then go up to someone like a pretty much anybody, any midfielder I want, or any defender that I want. I'm pretty sure
I'd be happy with
maybe
Newman,
like
to be
the
honest.
very top. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's awesome. Like I could chase Nick Dacos but against Essendon, but like I've got Baz. Most people don't have both unless you Pranav. Like I think it's pretty okay to have one of those. If
And to be honest, Dacos plays Essendon this week, and then has Hawks who will tag him, Geelong who he gets Mullen, and then Sydney who he gets Jordan. So he's got
James
three
Jordan.
bad tags in a row.
Yeah,
Would not
look
be
out.
excited with that.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm doing. So we'll be interesting to sit and watch. If TDK comes out and it's 3-5, if it's 2-4, no. If it's 3-5, I'm launching into Marshall. I reckon. That's what I'm gonna say. If it's 2-4, I'll think about it. If it's 2-4, I'll think about it hard. But if it's 3-5, straight in. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's it. We done. Awesome. All right.
There you go.
With any luck, your round 6 teams were on the mark.
And not off the mark, and we'll be back with you on probably Thursday this week. Might do a bit of an earlier episode this week. To take you through hopefully round 7.
Awesome. We'll see you then.
See you later.